Hi, in this short film, we're going to explore 14 things you can do right now to deal with the acute stress you're feeling. All of us have moments in our lives when we are faced with challenges that result in a severe feeling of stress. When faced with this feeling, it's difficult to know what to do because it feels like a fire in our brain. We feel lost as if we're in a fog and cannot see a way out. This is the usual way the human mind responds, and you're not unique in this way. In this situation, it's helpful to have a clear list of things we can be reminded to do to deal with this feeling of stress. If you're severely distressed and have any thoughts of harming yourself or others, please pause here and seek professional help. Otherwise, continue with this film. Stress feels like a fire in the brain, and the distress you feel right now is very real. Right now, the stress you feel may also be unbearable. Stress makes you lose the ability to think clearly, so unless you're in danger, it's best to postpone any decisions till you feel more calm. In normal circumstances, you could make very clear and rational decisions, but right now, that's going to be really difficult. So just breathe in and accept that and think of what you're doing and ask if it can wait till you feel more calm. The various stress chemicals that are circulating in your brain right now can disconnect you from reality. A good way to connect with the real world and calm down is through a simple breathing exercise I'm going to talk you through right now. Find a comfortable spot and sit down. Begin with 3 deep, slow breaths. Inhale fully and then exhale fully. Do that 3 times. Now, focus on breathing through your nose. Breathe in, counting to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one last time. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice that the air that's entering your nose is cooler than the air coming out. As you breathe out, do it more slowly and consciously. Carry on with this breathing and noticing. It's the slow and smooth breathing out that's really important. As you do so and continue with this exercise, notice how your mind begins to quieten down. Become aware of your surroundings. Become aware of your stress. Just be aware of it and let it be. You are the breath. You're not your thoughts. When you finish watching this video, carry on with this simple breathing exercise. You can do it anywhere. You do not have to close your eyes. Just notice that the air going in is slightly cooler than the air coming out. It's a great exercise to help you calm down. Carry on with this breathing and think of this. Stress makes you zoom in. If you have failed an exam or a job interview, 100% of your life feels like a failure. If you've lost someone you love, you feel you'll never love again. Think of it like a pin in your finger. When you have a pin in your finger, all your attention is directed to the pin and you can't think of anything else. So if you can consciously zoom out, you will realize that it's only a pin in your finger and the rest of you is okay. Then you can deal with the pin and sort it out. Similarly, if you see your problem in the context of a year or 5 years, it puts it into perspective. People like you all over the world have faced similar problems and come through, and so will you. Begin by zooming out and regaining perspective. Now that you've zoomed out and can see the problem is not the end of the world, make a list of things you can be still grateful for right now. My list includes the love of friends and family, sunshine, the poetry of Mary Oliver, the songs of Eva Cassidy, food to eat, and so on. Your list will be different. Whatever your circumstances, there are many things for you to be grateful for right now. If only you ask yourself the question, write these down. This may not make the problem go away, but help you put it into perspective. Changing your perspective from feeling like a victim to one of gratitude for what you still have may help you feel better. Then know this. No matter what you're enduring right now, there are people who have been in much worse circumstances and come through. You will as well. Though it feels really tough right now, this stress you feel will pass. All feelings pass and life renews itself again. This is part of the cycle of life and is not unique to you. Sometimes all we can do is be patient and see it through. The heart heals. This feeling of sorrow when you lose someone you were close to can be intense, but eventually passes. After the storm comes the dawn. Reach out to someone and talk to them. Talking helps. It's okay to be vulnerable and share how you're feeling. You will feel so much better and may get a different perspective as well. Don't be anxious about it. People are much more generous than you think. Get over your hesitation and speak to a friend or someone in the family now. Men find it more difficult than women to share their feelings because they sometimes want to portray an image of someone strong. You don't need to be that man and suffer in silence. Exercise is excellent because it releases endorphins, which are going to make you feel better. It's always good to connect with nature and get some fresh air. While you're out there, notice as much detail as you can, because the more attention you pay, the more you will connect to reality, and this will interrupt your thought patterns which are causing your stress. Try and get a sweat up. A brisk walk or a jog is ideal, but you can also cycle or swim. Stress is an automatic reaction from your thinking. You can't control how you feel, but you can control how you respond. Sometimes our responses make the problem worse, so it's worth asking, is my response going to make things better or worse? Someone else would react completely different to the same event, so you can ask yourself now, what are the other ways of seeing the same situation, and what are the alternative ways to respond? There almost always is. Can you see the situation, for example, from another person's point of view? If you can change the way you look at a situation, you can change the way you respond, and your stress can end. Stress is just the difference between how things are and how you want them to be. If you can accept how things are and think of what to do next, your stress can dissolve. Of course, this depends entirely on your situation. Consider this man who must have been devastated when he lost both his legs, but a complete acceptance of the situation and a refusal to feel sorry for himself made him compete in the Olympics. You can be amazing too, but perhaps it begins with an acceptance of things you cannot change. A positive attitude can make all the difference. Just tell yourself, I can get through this, no matter how distressed and without hope you feel. What is the next smart thing for you to do? It may be as simple as eating something or drinking a glass of water. Our mind tends to look at things negatively, and developing a positive attitude can help you to find the best way to look at a situation and turn it to your advantage. What can you learn from what's just happened, for example, and what can you learn about yourself? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that first step. A positive attitude goes a long, long way at getting through the challenges of life. Fear, anxiety, and worry play a huge role in the stress that we feel. If you're worried about the future, remember the nature of fear makes us magnify threats and imagine those that may not exist. Because these problems are in the future, we cannot solve them, so they don't seem to go away. Most of our fears never come to pass anyway. The future will unfold as it will, and you will meet it and sort out whatever needs doing at that point. Of course, it's not easy to stop worrying just because you want to, but realizing that most fears never come to pass, and your thinking process magnifies the threat, may help. This may seem a strange idea at first, but when stress rises in you, if you can meet it without thinking and without language, it can end immediately. The reason is that stress is a reaction from our thinking. So if you can meet it without thinking, we cut off its oxygen supply and it can end. Just as you watch these birds flying across the sky, just watching them without naming them or thinking about them or judging them. If you can meet stress in the same way, it can end. Just be quiet with this feeling. Let it wash over you. Try not to engage with it. Try it and see. We will explore this more fully in the section on nurturing a quiet mind. Deep down, you are the same as every other human being. There's little to be gained from being critical of yourself right now, even though it's an automatic process you perhaps cannot help. Be kind to yourself. If you have made a mistake, that's okay. You're just human and we all make mistakes. You just need to learn from them and move on. The future is never as dark as we imagine it to be. All this will pass. Sometimes our stress is caused by a fear of what other people will think. This may prevent gay people from coming out, for example, or a person who's really unhappy from leaving a relationship, or may prevent someone else from owning up to their depression, for example. The people who love you will love you anyway, and the others, well, how much do they really matter? In a few days they will have forgotten, and you will be old news, and they will move on. I hope that some of these 14 suggestions have resonated with you and helped you feel calmer. It's up to you now to apply them to your life. It may help you to write them down and keep them somewhere so you can be reminded of them. Once you've calmed down, go ahead and do the full program, beginning with exercises to nurture a quiet mind. This will help you understand the roots of the problem and allow you to respond with wisdom and intelligence. It will also perhaps stop the problem from recurring. It is possible to live with much less stress and manage it better when it occurs, but to do that you have to be willing to look inwards and begin your own journey of learning about yourself and how your mind works. We have created this program to help you do that and walk with you as you do so.